We have an extreme fire risk from Wyoming to Colorado and also a lot of wind throughout the US. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. It's December 19, 2025. Unfortunately, when I say extreme, this is not an exaggeration, as this is the highest fire risk the Storm Prediction Center could announce. So we're going to have that extreme fire risk from the border of Colorado and Wyoming, and a critical fire risk from Wyoming, Colorado, and Nebraska. And then we're going to have an elevated fire risk, or 1 out of 3, going from there all the way down to places like Texas. So what this means this afternoon and evening, we're going to have conditions that are ripe for fire and ripe for fire spread. Just like what we saw in the past few days, we're going to have a really strong low pressure system somewhere around the Alberta area in Canada, and this is going to be causing a lot of wind speed on the surface. With that counterclockwise flow, we're going to have westerly winds, and that's going to be directly going perpendicular to the Rocky Mountains. And so 3 things are going to happen, especially in this extreme area. We're going to see wind speeds from 35 to 55 miles per hour sustained and wind gusts up to 90 miles per hour. A little bit more south, places like Denver and Colorado Springs, we're going to see wind speeds from 20 to 25 miles per hour sustained and wind gusts to about 40 to 45. And then places like New Mexico and Texas in the elevated risk, we're going to see wind speeds from about 15 to 25 miles per hour sustained and wind gusts to about like 30 to 35. Second and third thing, because these winds are perpendicular to the Rocky Mountains, that's going to help with the downslope warming effect. So when you have winds going down from the mountain due to the topography, at the bottom of the mountain, you're going to have more pressure than if it was at the top of the mountain. And so because of that increased pressure at the bottom of the mountain, we're going to have increased temperatures. And this is why we're seeing a lot of high temperatures at the eastern Rockies. And at the same time, as this air goes down from the mountain, it actually retains the moisture content, but because it stays the same and the temperature increases, it decreases the relative humidity, which makes it feel more dry. So that's why throughout the eastern Rockies from Wyoming all the way down to Texas, we're going to see relative humidities even below 10% today. So overall, we're going to have extremely dry conditions and really high wind speed. So if we look at 500 millibars or midway to troposphere, we have a low pressure system somewhere around Canada, and this is remnants of the atmospheric river vent that we've seen in the Pacific Northwest. And same exact story, what we're seeing in the Northeast, we're seeing that remnants of another low pressure system that we saw earlier in the week. And both of these systems are bringing a lot of wind speed aloft, and this has helped contributing to the wind speed that we're seeing at the surface. So that being said, from the west, the plains, and the entirety of the Northeast, we're all going to see wind speed from 15 to 25 miles per hour sustained and maybe wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. And with this warm air in the southwest and eastern Rockies, you can thank this upper level high pressure system. And remember that high pressures are clockwise flow, and it's been somewhat stationary off the coast of California, and this is what's been navigating all these atmospheric and low pressure systems. And this high pressure is very slowly moving eastward, but because of that eastward movement, we're actually shifting the atmospheric river vent from the Pacific Northwest into places like Northern California and Central California. So right now, Northern California, you guys are seeing the most of the consistent heavy rain, and this is going to be shifting downward to the Central Valley and the Bay Area. And as this rain moves southward, it's going to diminish into more light than heavy. So from the Bay Area to the Central Valley, you're just going to expect light rain consistently from about 4 p.m. Central Time, and it's going to last throughout the evening, overnight, and tomorrow. But by noon Saturday, you guys are going to see heavy rain consistently.